Just every day, just training, focused on getting better. And every drill, every workout, just, competing with guys in the room, just doing everything necessary to make sure that come tomorrow, I'm at the best I could be.
Where'd you go to train?
Dallas. I was at Exos.
Do you think you might surprise people this week?
Do I think I'm going to surprise people?
In what ways do you think you will?
I'm definitely going in the shuttle drills. I think I have potential to, break or set a record. Just, the times I've been putting up while training, I think are going to be very high.
Talk about that transition a little bit, because you started out as a wide receiver and then you went to defensive back, and just that journey that you had going from the offensive side of the ball to now getting some time on defense, to becoming a key player on defense, to having that breakout season this year with all the picks and all the splash plays. What was that like? Was it kind of hard for you to go from offense to defense, or was it just kind of like just a quick second decision to be like, this is going to help my team?
I think it happened pretty natural. Definitely one of the better cases in, switching positions so late in your, college career. And, shout out to Coach Harbaugh, because it was, a great decision. He, when he called me and asked me to make that, switch, he definitely saw something. And, I believed in him. I trusted, his vision. And, the mindset I had when switching defense was, I'm going to do everything I can to help this team, help this defense, fill in a spot that was much needed with Dax Hill leaving. So, the transition was pretty easy. I went in there, I, got the playbook right away, wanted to learn as fast as possible so I could have an immediate impact.
What are the Chargers getting in a guy like Coach Harbaugh?
What are the Chargers getting?
What are they getting in Harbaugh?
A player's coach, a guy who's going to do everything he can to make sure that the guys around him are succeeding, a guy who's going to love his football team, a guy who loves the program, and he's a blue-collar guy who's going to work his tail off to make sure that the program wins.
Yeah, with coverage, obviously that's the main part of the game with a defensive back, but one thing that sticks out when watching your tape is your willingness as a run defender. Kind of go into that mindset that you have, kind of being a skill position player all your life in terms of being able to get your face in the fan and get down and dirty with the run game.
Just a guy, even though I'm not, the most physically imposing looking guy, the smaller frame I have, the willingness, like you said, to be able to go down there and, put my pads on somebody or, get myself around the ball and, however that looks. That's just what I want to do. I like the physical part of the game. You have pads on for a reason, so there's no point in being scared. You're protected. So use what you have and, get down there and get physical.
Is there a couple guys that you like to kind of watch that, from the run game perspective as well as from coverage, whether it be inside or outside, that you like to model your game out of, like whether it be from a slot perspective or outside?
Mike Hilton, Trent McDuffie, Buda Baker, and Kenny Moore. Those are my four.
Mike Hilton played for the Steelers before he went to the Bengals. Have you had any conversations with the Steelers at all?
I've spoke with the Steelers. I haven't spoke with the Bengals yet.
Yeah, with the Steelers, was that a formal meeting? Were you able to meet with Coach Tomlin at all?
Yeah, I met with Coach Tomlin.
How was that conversation with him and the rest of the staff?
It was real cool, real relaxed. The whole staff was very welcoming. I enjoyed our conversation. I enjoyed the interview.
Can you dive into Michigan and how that helped you be where you are right now?
Coach Harbaugh made a promise while I was being recruited that when my time at Michigan is done, I'm going to be prepared for the next level. He kept that promise true, and that was through every experience on the field and off the field. And I think, everybody in the program, from the staff to the players, definitely helped me get prepared for this moment. And, time and time again, you hear it from people who have left the program that there's no other program that's going to help you get ready for the NFL like Michigan will. So, I'm very appreciative of everything that, I went through at Michigan. And I'm appreciative of all the guys and all the staff that I was able to, go through it with.
What are your expectations for the future of Michigan? Right? I mean, it's great, 18 guys here now, and a lot of coaching staff having left for the Chargers. How can Michigan, continue to win it down at the level that you guys were?
I'm just having everybody, in the program buy into the same goal. That's what helped us be successful last year. We were all bought into one thing. We had one track mind. We all had a vision. We all did everything we can necessary to, get to where we wanted to be.
What do you make of the defensive back when you back?
What was that?
What do you make of the defensive back when you back?
Another year of guys who, can make plays. With Will Johnson, Makari Page, Rob Moore, those three, they're, that's the spearhead right now in the DB room. And I know those guys are going to do a great job of getting everyone else around them prepared. I'm not sure if we're going to get transfers in or not, but I know the younger guys that are in that room who had playing time last season are going to, get prepared as well. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do this year.
Mike, you moved to DB after Mike McDonald left, but did you have any interactions with him when he was on the staff as the defensive coordinator? And how would you feel about potentially playing for him at the next level now that he's the Seahawks head coach?
Yeah, I know Coach McDonald's a great coach. Just competing against his defense in spring ball and camp, and just seeing what he was able to, get those guys to do during the season. I just know he's a great coach, so playing for him will be awesome. It will be an honor. But yeah, during his time at Michigan, I would joke around with him and the defensive coaches there, saying, whenever you guys need me on defense, just let me know. I'll come over and take a few reps in game, practice, whatever it is.
Have you spoken with him this week?
I haven't met with him, but I've met with the Seahawks.
Have you met with the Packers?
No, not formally. No.
You've talked with Charles Woodson, has he reached out to you during this process?
Not during this process, but I did speak to him a few times during the season and before the season. What does he mean to me? Just from a leadership standpoint, he gave me a few, tips on how to hold guys accountable, and just, the legacy he left at Michigan is one to, you want to live up to that legacy. He was a great DB. He was a great two-way guy. Someone that, what I do, I can say I model what he did. I didn't get the chance to, go back and play offense how he did. Probably, if I did, I would have been in the same conversation as him. But just, a guy like him, he means a lot to the program, means a lot to people with the athletic ability that I have.
Mike, how would you describe your play style as a quarterback?
Just very instinctual. Like I said earlier, just being somebody who knows how to find the football, whether it's in the air, on the ground. I would say very instinctual.
Is that something you had to pick up on quickly with making that transition from receiver?
No, I think I had to stop myself from trying to find the ball too much in terms of in coverage. And I'm still continuing to work on eye discipline. But I think my instincts and my natural ability to, be around the football is what helps me play how I play at the nickel position, especially.
Have you met with Pittsburgh here in Indy?
Yes.
Was that formal? Mike Tomlin, did you get to meet with him at all?
Yeah.
And what was your impression of him as he was over there?
I like him a lot. He's a great guy, great coach. I was a big Steelers fan when I was younger. San Antonio Holmes, Antonio Brown. I used to love watching those guys at receiver. And on defense side, Troy Polamalu, just seeing what they did. And then when they won the Super Bowl, of course. But that team, I used to love the Steelers. But I grew up a Patriots fan. I'm from Boston, so. But Coach Tomlin and that staff, great staff.
Michigan guy mentioned in San Antonio Holmes, it's a Buckeye, you got to be careful with that around.
Listen, good football is good football at the end of the day.
When you guys would go ones versus ones in practice, how would you try to knock JJ off his game?
Switching leverage, not letting him see, disguising certain things. But, one-on-ones is one-on-ones at the end of the day. It's easier to do that, I was saying 7-on-7s and team rank.
How would you be kind of a risk taker? Sometimes when you guys were going against him, how much does that play into the mindset of trying to make a play?
Just knowing that you have to cover for the full length of a play. I think JJ being a risk taker is what makes him who he is. And Coach Harbaugh, he said, JJ, what you do is what you do. I'm not going to take that away from you. That's what allows you to be great. So I think JJ just keeps doing that. That's why, he's going to continue getting better at the little things. But, that risk-taking factor that he has is very special, is very unique.
Mike, have you had a chance
about
to...
who you are as a person or as a player that doesn't show up on the film and you're trying to get across to NFL teams?
Just being a guy, I think everything I do does show up on film, from, a guy who's accountable, a guy who shows leadership, a good communicator. I think, those things right there show up themselves. And then, the intangibles, I'm responsible. You see that because I was a two-time captain. But I think I have a very good resume. I think I have a clean slate, and I'll be very appreciative of whoever gives me an opportunity, and I'm excited. And from a business standpoint, I'm a guy. I create content. I did a lot of that at Michigan, just showing the perspective of a player, showing the team culture that we had. So just being able, for a guy that I can help bring good business into a program, or to a whatever team I go to. So all those type of things.
Mike, if you had the challenge of being a team captain, did you work at leadership and that kind of things? How did you tackle that?
Just, being myself and, listening to my coaches, taking the coaching, listening to players, understanding what each individual needed. Not everyone is, you can't treat everybody the same way. Every person needs something different, so you have to cater to people differently. And I think, the biggest challenge for me was the younger guys, getting them on the same page as the older guys and, meeting that same standard because, they're the ones that come in not really used to college football, not used to what the program's been. So getting them on the same page as us so, the machine can run as well as it can, and I appreciate everybody around me that helped me lead and allowed me to be myself. You said what?
Is there a younger DB in Michigan that's caught your eye?
I think all of the young DBs, DJ Waller, Jair Hill, those two guys are guys I think are going to have a, impact this year, and I'm excited, to see what they do.
Mike, have you had a chance to meet with the Houston Texans here at the Combine?
The Texans?
The Texans?
No, not formal. No.
Mikey, with
What is it about the defense that you
I think, our defense is very unpredictable. We give a lot of different looks. Man might look like zone. Zone might look like man. A lot of disguises. We send pressure from all over the field, and that was shown in the Alabama game. We just, Coach Minter did a great job with just, like I said, just in different situations, not allowing us to be, predicted. And I think that, our success rate with what he did was very high because of those reasons.
Mike, you faced two of the best receiving corps in college football last year in Ohio State and Washington. What sort of challenges did they present to you, and how did that prepare you for going into the NFL, facing the receivers?
Ohio State, they did a good job schematically. They gave us a bunch of different looks, but it ended up being the same thing. Just, they got to different concepts and different formations, different personnels. And, Washington with the shifts, the motions, trades, bunches, they just did a lot of stuff from a schematic standpoint that hit a lot of concepts. But, at the end of the day, everything gets to the same place, same spots on the field, just it's presented to you in a different way. So how we learned the DB room was same as. That was a lot of, that was our terminology. A lot of things are the same, just shown to you differently.
A lot of people compare your game to Mike Hilton. Is he kind of a player that you watch or are there other players that slot?
Yeah, I did a lot of Mike Hilton study tape this past offseason. I had a few conversations with him as well, and I asked him, what does he do that helps him, disguise his blitzes and allows him to get there and, his timing and everything. He gave me a few tips on that. But, Mike Hilton was definitely one of the people that I spoke to. Instagram.
What is the art of disguising the blitz?
Just, learning the cadence, knowing what your indicators are, and, you have to watch on film to see how much time is on the clock when the offense is snapping the ball, knowing those type of things and just being ready and, knowing the situations like, all right, if it's 4th down, game on the line like we had Alabama or overtime, knowing in the red zone, I'm not going to disguise his blitz, I'm sure right now. Or if it's earlier in the game, I'm going to disguise his blitz, I'm not going to show him if I'm inside leverage or if I'm outside leverage, I might line up head up just so he thinks I'm in, true man coverage and I'm coming from the pressure right there. And then also your safeties have to not tip you when, when you're disguising the blitz.
Mike, you.
I'm a four-star athlete from Michigan. This past season, I played DB. I was a receiver before that. I know you played receiver and switched to DB when you went to college. What helped you be a better, switch to DB and be a better DB when you went to college?
I'll say learn the playbook first. You're never going to be, no matter what it is you do, if you don't know your plays, you're not going to play. So you'll never even be able to showcase that, defensive back talent. And then, take the coaching is different. It's not the same as a receiver. The ball is not being thrown to you. So when you're coming out your breaks, you got to, take 2 steps to the man first. And then understand that you can't get frustrated. You might give up a few plays. People might make the contested catch on you, but how quick can you shift your focus from, all right, I just gave up a play, I got to play the next play.
Mike, why do you think you landed at the nickel corner position? Why do you think that's kind of been your MO, especially in this draft cycle?
I think just showing my physicality, showing my willingness, whether it's in the run game or defeating blocks on the edge, playing with good instincts. I think those are the things that helped me be successful at the nickel position, and why Coach Harbaugh wanted me to play the nickel, as well as being a smaller frame guy. The nickel, I wouldn't say is for smaller guys, but it works out for me that way. So.
Have you met with the Jaguars yet?
Yes, I did actually.
Yeah.
Formally.
Formally?
Yeah.
How did that meeting go?
It went well.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my meeting with that staff.
Did you know anything about Ryan Nielsen before you sat down?
No, I did not. I knew about Denard Robinson though.
Hey Mike, I want to talk a little about your Haitian culture. I know that that's a strong part of who you are. What type of attributes do you feel like that has given you to where you are right now?
Natural strength.
There we go.
The foods we eat. I think it just gives you a lot of natural strength. I'm not sure why. I think Haitians are cut from a different cloth. I think we're just wired differently. So shout out to my Zoe culture.
That's the secret weapon, huh?
That's the secret weapon.
What's your favorite Haitian dish?
There's a lot. I can't really give you a specific. It's just so much good food. You can't really choose.
Mike, last question. Last question right here, okay? Right here.
Based off my defense or my defensive knowledge, I think just knowing the fact that I've been a sponge to, I've been very open to learning. So when I switched to defense, I was in the film room the next day learning our defense. So asking questions, to the coaches, to the players, note taking, all those things, just expanding my knowledge every single day. Makes it very easy to go up there and do board work, and then from a playing standpoint, having an offensive background, it makes it so much easier for me to determine what I'm going to get in certain situations. Locating receiver splits, down and distance, all of those things help play factors into my knowledge to the game.
Great. Thanks, Mike. We're all finished, guys. Thank you very much, Mike.